All right, the number 5 movie sequel better than the original, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love it. I'm going to clap. I love Christmas Vacation. It's just a good Christmas movie.
How much do you think it is that there's like most Christmas movies are like pretty sincere or silly, but this one was like over the top? You don't see that many over the top ones. Right?
I think that's a huge factor of it. All right, the number 4 movie sequel better than the original. Obviously, this has to be somewhere on the list. The Godfather Part 2. Your classic example. Only number 4 here, but the classic example that everyone always gives in these kind of lists.
We get to take a look at the past of the Godfather.
Right, the whole De Niro, all the De Niro
But
stuff.
after you're already invested in
it. You already like it or you like the story, but now you are wondering where it came from,
Yeah, the
how
structure
it started.
of Godfather 2 is incredible. The number 3 movie sequel better than the original, Toy Story 2.
I think Toy Story 2 is there's also a flashback to back in the day when Woody was like in his prime.
Right, I do remember Woody goes with the other cowboy toys and they're going to sell them and he doesn't want to be sold. I think it was the same plot as the Sesame Street movie with Big Bird. Yeah, like a bird family, basically. Yeah, like a giant bird family. And you're like, oh, you belong with a giant bird. But I miss Sesame Street. It's the same basic thing.
I wonder if adopted kids watch that and we're just like, oh man.
I mean, it's like a good message for adopted kids, though. Like stick with what you got, basically. You probably got a good thing going. So
don't try to find your real identity.
Please don't. The number 2 movie sequel better than the original, Back to the Future Part 2. Great movie. Great movie.
The hoverboard.
The whole sequence in the future, which by the way is like a few months from now. It takes place in 2015.
Okay.
Like, the future is here.
I think anytime a movie has to create a world, a new world, and then like obviously people got to think like, oh, what kind of technology, and they probably have a lot of fun making this stuff up. So
and they did a pretty good job with it.
A lot of times people are just wearing like metal hats. Everyone's neon everywhere.
Like the metal big collars, like the silver suits.
Right.
Which is real stupid, but then they made it look cool. Like,
yes, they did.
And also I think people really like the 50s portrayal too,
yes.
right? Like, you know, to this day, Back to the Future 2 has shaped my idea of what America was like in the 1950s. Because, you know, a lot of Asians, we weren't in America, so we don't know. So I just base my image of
all the diner scenes.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, I'm like, that's what it was like.
And the number 1 movie sequel better than the original is The Dark Knight.
Yeah. The Joker, of course, like legendary performance.
But I think he created this character where you almost like, well, you like him more than Batman, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was I mean, that's one of the best characters we've had in the past decade, probably, is what he did with that.
I think it was amazing how he stepped from 10 Things I Hate About You to The Dark Knight. And that, I think that's what wowed everybody. Because previously, he's kind of like the hunk, right? In these teenage movies. Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's matured and he hits you with this crazy character that's like legendary. I think anybody from this generation is not going to forget that.
Absolutely. So. Well, that's it for our movie sequels list. Thanks to the Fung Brothers!
Thank you, everybody.
You can check them out at YouTube, Fung Bros Comedy, also on Twitter at Fung Bros. If you want to see the full results of this poll, you can check them out at 11points.com. Take a minute to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stick with 11 Points because top 10 lists are for cowards. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
I honestly, if Arnold's the bad guy in the second one, he never becomes governor. Because that's going to be seared into people's brains.
And he never becomes the kindergarten cop either. Right. I wouldn't trust him with that either.
Or Jingle All the Way or anything. Like.